Rafael Devers came out swinging on opening day as he started off what should be a monster season for him with an absolute bang.
You are Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Gabby Hurlbut, former ESPN social media associate and also the current host of the Boston Balling podcast. And I am here to bring you the latest in all things Boston Red Sox, Monday through Friday, straight to your favorite podcast feed for free. Yes, that's right. You heard that correctly. It is free, so might as well take advantage of it, right? And start your day off the correct way with Locked On Red Sox. Locked On is your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. New customers join today and you will get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Happy Monday. Welcome to another episode of the show. I hope everyone who celebrates had a wonderful Easter over the weekend, celebrating with family or friends or whoever you got to spend some nice quality time with. I hope it was a nice, relaxing holiday for you. The Red Sox got through their first series of the season on the West Coast, no less, and they came out pretty well, I'd say, to split a 4-game series against a Mariners team that has very solid pitching is a great and promising way for Boston to start the season. So on today's show, I'm going to be diving into a lot of big things that took place in that series that we should keep track of moving forward. And the biggest thing is that Rafael Devers is just primed for a monster season. I'm feeling it. I can see it. And I'm excited to see what he does moving forward. So on Thursday, on opening day, the Red Sox beat the Mariners 6-4, and Devers was a huge part of that. He went 2 for 5 with a double and a home run, and it was fun to see him out there and really swinging the bat because there are a lot of people anticipating that he'll have a very strong season, myself included. Now, on Twitter, I did ask people before opening day who was going to hit the first home run of the season for the Boston Red Sox. The answer was Rafael Devers. He came right out and wasted no time and absolutely smashed a home run on opening day. So shout out to the following Twitter users for getting the answer correctly and predicting that Devers would hit the first home run of the Red Sox season. Ryan Martin, whose Twitter handle is at @REMartin_34. Shout out to you for saying Devers. Very, very strong prediction, and it did happen. Nugsy Bogus at Nugsy, which is NUGGSY_BOGUE. Nugsy Bogus is another person who said Devers or Story. Both are really hot coming into the season. That is very much true. They both were still waiting for Story to pick it up a little bit, but spot on there with Devers. And there were a lot of mixed answers on this question of who was going to hit the first home run for the Red Sox season. A lot of people said Jarren Duran, another great guess, somebody I could have totally seen doing it. And Tristan Casas was another common name for sure. Totally agree with people who were thinking it might have been one of them. And then we have Ernest Taylor at Scuba Steve. That's at SCOOBA SCHTEVE at Scuba Steve. Love that Twitter handle, by the way. Ernest Taylor said Devers. I am anticipating a monster season. So is Ernest. So props to you for calling that as well. And another interesting name that came up here was Yoshida. Totally could have seen that happening too. Waiting for him to pick up his offense a little bit more as well. But another person to say that it would be Devers is Dottie Duffy at Dottie Duffy. Great Red Sox fan as well, said Devers. And so did Ken Mattias at Ken Mattias02. And Mattias is Mattias. Ken Mattias at KenMattias02 predicted Rafael Devers. He's going to have such a fun season. I think there are a lot of people who are excited to watch him play, myself included. So props to those following people who called Rafael Devers hitting the first home run for the Boston Red Sox this season. So he went out there, went 2 for 5, showcased that he's here and he's ready to go this year. So that was fun. But then he did miss Friday and Saturday's games due to some shoulder soreness. Friday, the Red Sox lost 1-0. They faced some very, very strong pitching in George Kirby from Seattle and their closer, who's also no slouch either, in Andres Munoz. So it was a tough game for Boston. Couldn't get the offense going, but they lost and can't really fault everybody too much because they did face very strong pitching in the Seattle Mariners. So that was the result of Friday's game. And then Saturday, they lost 4-3 in extra innings. The Red Sox did take the lead in the top of the 10th inning, and then they blew it and lost on a walk-off base hit 4-3 in extras. So the Mariners took a 2-1 series lead. So Devers was experiencing shoulder soreness, missed Friday night, and then when that all happened, Alex Cora did say he wasn't expected to miss a lot of time and that he might even be back in the lineup as early as Saturday. So then I waited for Saturday's lineup to come out because he was a late scratch from the lineup Friday. He was supposed to play, and then shortly before the game, they said he wasn't playing anymore because he needed to rest because of his shoulder, which does make a lot of sense. You don't want to risk players getting injured very early on in the season. So he rested and then couldn't play again Saturday, just an extra day of rest for safekeeping, which I absolutely don't blame him for. But then he was able to return to the lineup on Sunday in a Red Sox 5-1 win versus the Mariners. He went 1 for 5 in that game. He also did take a strikeout, but he's hitting. He's finding ways to make contact in a variety of different ways, which I really like. He's being aggressive at the plate. He's coming in there, showing up, and showing that he can be the leader of this team that the Red Sox need. Now, obviously, would I have loved to see him play in the whole series 100%, because any game without Devers is an absolute bummer. And it's a huge loss to the lineup. And who knows if the Red Sox would have gotten a run on the board on Friday night if he had been playing. We'll never know. Or if he had played Saturday, maybe they win that game. So he's that core key piece of the order that the Red Sox need all season long and need to be healthy if they're going to be able to stay in contention with other teams that could be looking to get a playoff spot as well. So when it comes to Rafael Devers, he's already showing that instant confidence that I was looking for from him going into this season of, okay, I'm the guy, like this is my team now. I am the team leader. I'm the guy who needs to step up here and show that I can be that guy that the Red Sox extended, who is going to go out there and make a huge impact game after game and be this heart of the lineup for Boston. I think it's interesting where they're having him hit. I found it interesting that he's been batting second in the lineup with Story behind him. I feel like it makes more sense to switch the two of them and bat Story in second and Devers in third. But we'll see if Cora changes that up a little bit as time goes on. I definitely agree with Jarren Duran being the leadoff hitter primarily. And I just felt like Devers batting third naturally made sense, but maybe Cora wanted to move things around just to see how Trevor Story would do in that spot and maybe have more protection behind Devers in his view. So I thought that was one thing that was interesting, but Devers hasn't skipped a beat. He is obviously fine with hitting wherever he's hitting because he is still hitting. So again, 1 hit for 5 at-bats in Sunday's game. And the question now becomes, can he keep this up? That's what I'm looking to see him do. He will continue to provide that power. He will hit his home runs, but can he continue that versatility that he's been displaying these last couple days of showing that he can hit other things besides a home run, and that he can make other things happen offensively. So in his 2 games that he's appeared in so far, I really liked what I saw from him at the plate, and I'm expecting that to continue because at the end of the day, this lineup needs Devers to perform, and they need him to be that guy. And the season he had last year was not a bad season at all. And what's crazy is it wasn't even a very good season for Devers. But if you look at his numbers, it was very good for a common baseball season. So that's why I have no doubt that he'll keep that same pace or play even better, because I don't have a reason to feel like he's going to digress, especially because he had a strong spring as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do moving forward. But congrats to all of the listeners who called Rafael Devers hitting the first home run of the Red Sox season. Props to you. You can see the future. Coming up, I'm going to be talking about another guy who also had a really big series for the Boston Red Sox. Could he make an impact the rest of the year? You're going to find out. Do you love sports betting? Is it something you've been thinking about getting into but haven't yet? Or are you an absolute diehard? Regardless of where you're at on the sports betting scale, FanDuel is absolutely the place for you. The sports calendar is loaded, and FanDuel is making it even more exciting to get in on the action. Because right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 you can use to bet the tourney, MLB, NBA, NHL, and so much more. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet a big win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. You really can make a lot of money on FanDuel. My fiance can tell you that firsthand because he's won quite a bit of money using it. So head to FanDuel today if you're looking to make some instant money. Are you struggling to close deals? B2B selling is tougher than ever, and that's why I want to tell you about LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a sales intelligence platform that helps professionals effectively prospect and engage high-value customers, drive higher revenue, and increase sales performance. Sales Navigator helps you target the right buyers, surface key signals, such as job changes or which accounts you should prioritize, and shows you hidden allies so you can find those buyers that are most likely to convert. Fueled by LinkedIn's 1 billion member platform, Sales Navigator gives you the most up-to-date first-party data, enabling you to unlock conversations with the people that matter. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon. That is linkedin.com/lockedon for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/lockedon and get started. That's definitely a great resource for you, so you should absolutely take advantage of it. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? Have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news. Streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Tyler O'Neill has made a big impression already in a Boston Red Sox uniform, both defensively and offensively. He's already showcasing his ability to play very strong defense in the outfield for the Red Sox, which is promising going into this season because the Red Sox did have some outfield defensive struggles last year, especially with Yoshida being out there. So now that O'Neill can play more defense and Yoshida can primarily DH, that'll be a great way for the Red Sox as a whole to feel more confident in the defense that they have in the outfield. And O'Neill also at the plate was intriguing to me because he's always been a guy who, when healthy, can really make an impact at the plate because he can utilize all aspects of the field and he hits for power. And that was on full display too, as he broke a record in the Red Sox season opener on Thursday night in Seattle. He hit a home run in that game and became the first player ever to hit a home run in 5 consecutive opening days, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. That guy just loves playing baseball on opening day. And heading into the game, when the lineup was released, Alex Cora said that he put Tyler O'Neill in the lineup instead of Wilyer Abreu because O'Neill loves playing on opening day, and he's always finding a way to get those big hits and those home runs, and he's just amped by it. He's fueled by it. And it was really cool because he absolutely crushed it. I could just tell by the sound of the bat that it was gone. So he went 1 for 3 in that game on Thursday, and he crushed a home run. Pretty cool that he broke a record while doing it. He did hit that home run in the 8th inning. There were no runners on and no one out. So it was just a prime spot for him to really shine and say, hey, I'm here in Boston and I'm going to do big things for you. And going back to my tweet from the other day about who hits the first home run of the season for the Red Sox, the answer was Rafael Devers, but there were some people who put Tyler O'Neill, and I consider that partly right because he did hit a home run in the first game of the season. It just was backed behind Rafael Devers, who just is nuts and hit a home run himself. So I do have to acknowledge those people who did say Tyler O'Neill because they were very close to. Twitter user Benny Biceps at 1IL season at ONEILSZN said Tyler O'Neill. Very excited to see how he performs the rest of the season, but props to you for calling somebody who did actually hit a home run on opening day, even though it wasn't the first one. Twitter user Eric at Goondal1912 at GOONDAL1912 also said Tyler O'Neill. And Eric also feels like he could be one of those underrated additions that you get from time to time, which I totally agree with. It could be like a Hunter Renfroe type of situation where the Red Sox bring in a guy who people don't really expect to do huge things and kind of flew under the radar as an offseason move, but could just go off this year and be huge for this team. So it'll be interesting to see what he continues to do. Another person who said O'Neill was Scarlett Machanko at SVMICHANCO. Scarlett Machanko saying Tyler O'Neill. Congratulations to you for saying that. And also Ruben Lipsick at Baseball Ruben is this person's Twitter handle, Ruben Lipsick. That person also said Tyler O'Neill. His bat is great for Fenway, and he proved that already by just absolutely crushing one in Thursday's game. So props to him for making an immediate impact and saying, hey, this is what you have to look forward to with me. And he continued to have a good series after that. He did record 1 hit over 4 at-bats in Friday's 1-0 loss. There was not a lot of offense for the Red Sox. They left 7 on base in that game, but he did record a hit, so he had a productive at-bat, which was good. He did strike out once too, but hit and a strikeout, I mean, it's give and take. It just is what it is. And then in the game where the Red Sox lost 4-3 on Saturday, he wasn't originally in the lineup, but he came in as a pinch hitter just to play left field and didn't actually end up having to take a lot of at-bats. He took 1 at-bat and took a walk. So that was all that he really did on Saturday. But again, he didn't get the opportunity to take a lot of at-bats because he came in originally as a pinch hitter. So again, getting himself on base. This is the big thing that I've noticed with O'Neill over the last few games is he gets himself on base, even if that is taking a walk. And there's nothing wrong with taking a walk. Sometimes you need to find a way to get on base, and he does that so well. So that's something that I've really noticed about him over this series, and it was super enjoyable. And then on Sunday in the Red Sox 5-1 win, he recorded 1 RBI. He had 2 hits in 3 at-bats. He hit a home run in the 2nd inning off of the Mariners starter. There were no runners on and 1 out at the time. He absolutely crushed a home run, his 2nd of the season. It just gives me so much more confidence that he can be that guy that the Red Sox are looking for this year as a spark in the lineup. Because the biggest thing for me going into this year is How are they going to be able to replace Justin Turner's productivity at the plate? Did they find somebody to replace Turner? Still too soon to tell, but could O'Neill be that underrated move the Red Sox made this offseason? A guy who could seriously contribute a lot in this lineup? Absolutely, I think so, yes, because he is a power hitter. He can crush home runs, but not only that, he records other hits too and took that walk and is able to recognize the ability to play small ball when needed and not try to be the hero every time. That's something about Devers that I still would like to see him work on, is no need to play hero ball every time and feel like you have to hit a home run every at bat, because if there are runners on base and you're up at the plate, you could go up there and focus on just hitting a single and trying to advance the runners. That should be your primary job, and I do feel like sometimes Devers gets a little too fancy with it and is focusing too much on the long ball and hitting it over the fence, so then he ends up striking out. Whereas Tyler O'Neill, I feel like, has a very strong baseball IQ in terms of when he should be swinging and not really focusing as much on hitting a home run, but figuring out how he can best help his team in that at-bat. And that's something I think is going to serve him very well throughout the rest of this season. What stood out to me the most about him is that confidence he displays at the plate, and the fact that in every single game that we watched in this series, he contributed positively in some capacity, whether that's just taking a walk and getting on base and working a pitcher's count, or getting a hit of some sort and driving in runs, or just getting a hit to get him on base. So he did something impactful in every game of the series offensively, and he also made some very strong plays in the outfield defensively. So there's a lot to look forward to with Tyler O'Neill. The biggest thing for me is, can he stay healthy? Can he stay on the field? Because if so, he could end up being a fantastic addition this year for Boston. And coming up, the Red Sox faced some very strong starting pitching in the series against Seattle. What did the Red Sox pitching do to respond to that? That's coming up next. Fire TV is your destination for sports. From live games to highlights to in-depth analysis, Fire TV offers amazing viewing experiences with smart TVs, as well as the Fire TV stick that you can plug into your existing TV that provides access to millions of movies and TV episodes, as well as free and live TV. Whether it's opening weekend for baseball or the college basketball tournament, you're going to want to have a Fire TV. Fire TV recently created Fire TV channels to deliver a constant supply of the latest videos from your favorite sports brands, all for free. That includes all of us at Locked On and most of the big pro leagues and college conferences as well. Fire TV channels lets you dive into all of the game analysis, highlights, and more to keep up to date on all the latest in the world of sports. March Madness, NBA, MLB, and lots more. Not to mention great news, entertainment, gaming, travel, and even cooking videos. Check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and Alexa devices. If you haven't checked out Fire TV channels, you should. Trust me on this. To learn more, visit amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. You really won't be disappointed in Fire TV, so I highly recommend that you check it out today. Also, check out Locked On Sports today, as we as a network have launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV Channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today, now available on the free Fire TV Channels app. It's so exciting for us as a network because nobody else has this besides Locked On. So if you're looking for a way to stay caught up in all things going on in sports at any time, Locked On Sports Today is the place for you. So the Boston Red Sox faced some really tough pitching in a good Seattle Mariners team over the opening weekend of the Major League season, which, by the way, it feels so great to have baseball back, games that actually count, and the hype surrounding this team and just certain players to watch out for. It's all coming to life now, and it's exciting to watch. And one of the biggest things about this series that I took away that was surprising is the Red Sox starting pitching could be better than people think. The Red Sox got some great performances from their starters. So on Thursday night, Brian Bayo recorded the win. He went 5 innings, recording 5 hits and 2 earned runs. He also struck out 2, and he did give up 1 home run on 1 mistake relatively deep into his outing. But he looked fantastic overall, other than that. And it was a solid outing. Would I like to see him increase his strikeout numbers? Absolutely. That's something I'm hoping can come with time, because that's the biggest thing to me that's holding him back from being considered in the ace conversation. He still has work to do in terms of his development, but he's on the path to being an ace. He just does need to be able to generate more swings and misses. So that's something I'd love to see more of from him. But overall, very solid start from him on Thursday, and I'm excited to see his growth and how he continues to develop for this team. Then in the frustrating 1-0 loss on Friday, Nick Pivetta started and pitched absolutely fantastic. He went 6 strong innings, giving up 3 hits and just 1 earned run. He also struck out 10 in that outing, but he took the loss because the Red Sox could not provide him run support. And unfortunately, the pitcher can't control what the offense does. And he went out there and he did his thing. So it's not fair that he had to lose the game by only giving up 1 run because his offense couldn't do anything to support him. So he had a very strong start. I mean, 6 innings pitched, striking out 10 and just giving up 1 earned run. I will take that any day of the week. The thing with Pivetta is there were a lot of question marks surrounding him going into the season in terms of, was it a fluke when he went back into the rotation last year after absolutely dominating in the bullpen? Or did the Red Sox somehow figure out how to fix him and then he was able to come back into the rotation and now he's carrying that back over from last year? That's the question I was wondering heading into this season. But that performance from him is very, very promising. Maybe Andrew Bailey honed in on something with him and was able to help work with him on certain aspects of his game, but he's throwing his pitches with a lot of confidence, and he just looked fantastic out there. So huge props to Pivetta. He kept the Red Sox in that game, and then Winkowski came in relief of him, pitched 2 innings, just gave up 1 hit. He did walk 2, but he struck out 4. So very strong pitching showing by the Red Sox on Friday as well. Just things didn't fall their way. And then Saturday, in the 4-3 loss in 10 innings, Cutter Crawford was on the bump. He also pitched 6 strong innings, giving up 3 hits and 1 run. He walked 1, but struck out 7. Fantastic start once again. He's getting those strikeouts up. He's getting his innings up, because the biggest thing to me with Crawford was the fact that he was able to pitch 6 innings, because a pending question with him heading into this season was, how effective can he be pitching deeper into games? Is he able to sustain a level of competitiveness if he pitches more than 4 innings? Because the Red Sox hadn't really stretched him out a ton. So the fact that he was able to pitch 6 strong innings is super promising. He looked very good. I thought the Red Sox were going to win that game, especially when they took the lead in the top half of the 10th inning. But very frustrating way for that game to end. But I'm not frustrated with Cutter Crawford. He looked so good, and it was really awesome to see his confidence out there and the way he portrayed this sense of being so aware of what was going on out there. So I really enjoyed Crawford's start. Just want to see him pitch 6 innings more consistently and be able to pitch as effectively the next time he pitches that many innings, and making sure that it's not just a one-time thing and that generally he's still going to struggle with his length and pitching deeper into games. So that's going to be a storyline to look out for there. And then on Sunday in the 5-1 win, the starter was Garrett Whitlock. He did receive the win for the game. He went 5 solid innings, giving up 3 hits and 1 earned run. He also struck out 8. And Garrett Whitlock has the means and the technique to be a starter. My only question with him is similar to Cutter Crawford. How deep can he go into a game before he starts to fall off? And he pitched 5 really solid innings. He had a quick 4th inning, which helped him to be able to go back out for the 5th. I wasn't sure if they were going to bring him in for the 6th inning, but at this point in the season, because it's so early, they probably didn't want to push him at that point. So he went 5 strong innings, and Whitlock has really special stuff and has true potential to be a very, very good pitcher for this team down the road. But it all goes back to how consistently can he eat innings and how consistently can he see a lineup the third time and be able to pitch well, because we didn't really get to see that as much on display in Sunday's game, because who knows how he would have done if he went back out again after 5 innings. So it'll be interesting if the Red Sox do try to stretch him out a little bit more so that he can maybe pitch 6 or so innings in his next outing. But one step at a time, he looked very, very good on Sunday. And for a pitching staff with a lot of question marks, this whole entire performance this weekend was a good sign. Now, walking away from that series, the biggest thing for me is this team might be able to compete. The lineup is going to win games. That was never the issue for me going into the season. They are going to be able to hit. It's just really going to be, can the pitching hold up? This season is solely going to either be made or broken by the pitching staff. Can they hold themselves together? Can the starters pitch deep into games so that the bullpen isn't overused? Can the bullpen guys be utilized in the right way and not feel like Cora has to waste them because a starter couldn't pitch effectively earlier on? Those are the biggest question marks this season is the pitching staff going to be able to hold up? And going into a series against a good team that a lot of people are expecting to be a playoff team in 2024 and taking 2 out of the 4 games from them is really a good scenario. And yes, we could have been greedy and said we wanted to sweep or win 3 of 4. Sure, obviously we always want to strive for more, but at the end of the day, when you look back on this series, the pitching looked very good overall, and there are guys who we can look forward to seeing how they contribute moving forward, especially a guy like Tyler O'Neill, who has a lot of the talent level and hype to be able to be successful. It's just a matter of, can he apply all of that and can he stay healthy? So lots to look forward to for the rest of the season. But this was a good series overall for Boston. Definitely a couple frustrating things that need to be worked out, like why is Joely Rodriguez still the only lefty in the bullpen right now? Why is he not being replaced with Brendan Bernardino? So still little things they need to work out there. But overall, it was a promising series. The Red Sox started off really as well as I could have hoped for. And now with the Angels and A's coming up on the trip, got to win those games. Let's just come back from this road trip with a winning record, because that would be considered a win in itself to me. As always, though, go Red Sox. Enjoy the games, and I will catch you on the flip side.